On this episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup, Jonah Elliss to learn inside linebacker? Are Sean and George Payton playing an April Fool's Day joke on Broncos country? Also, some news at the owners' meetings this week. Maybe a mock draft 2.0 at the end of the show. Maybe a special guest as well. You know what time it is. It's Denver Bronco Roundup time, and it starts now. Good evening, Broncos country. Welcome to another edition of the Denver Bronco Roundup. I'm your host, Kenny K, filling in for Keith Brugman tonight. Keith will be back shortly on a vacation. You know, Keith's enjoying himself, well-deserved. We shall see Keith soon, and hopefully he's enjoying his vacation. And happy April Fool's Day as well, everybody. No April Fools here. I'm with two of my fellow horsemen. I'll go to the guy on my right, the Rocket Man, Trevor Salzman. How are we doing tonight?
Doing well, Kenny. Excited to be here. NFL owners meetings have officially concluded. So looking forward to getting into that. What George Payton and Sean Payton said. Greg Penner spoke. Kerry Walton Penner also spoke. So plenty of news to go around. Kind of gives us a little bit of insight of what the Broncos' plan was this offseason. Not too much, but enough. But no, excited to break things down and get into everything. And excited to be here.
Excited as well. Miss Pearl coming in. Pearl saying hello, Kenny, but also Trevor and Jody as well. Hi, Pearl. Good to see you. Pearl over at Morgan Trinkets, our wonderful sponsor this evening. Thank you, Pearl, for all your support. As I mentioned right at the beginning, Miss Pearl's got great silver prices. Silver is on fire right now. Go check out Morgan Trinkets. We'll have a nice little video and intermission to talk about them after some people come in a few minutes. So we'll get some people in here and talk about Morgan Trinkets a little bit in a few minutes. But thank you, Ms. Pearl, for all the support on all our shows at Rocky Mountain Sports Network. The guy on the bottom, the judge is here tonight. The judge, not Aaron Judge, the judge, Jody Moncrief, is here tonight.
What's up, everyone? Some interesting stuff came out of the owners meeting. I think I'm not sure where I fall on it. Some stuff I like, some stuff I'm not sure about, but we'll break it down for you and hopefully get some good discussions going.
Absolutely. So why don't we get a discussion going on? I like to give people a couple minutes to come in. You know, Facebook, YouTube, it takes a couple minutes. It was April Fool's Day today. Did anybody play a good April Fool's Day joke on anybody? Or if not, what was you got a memory of a good April Fool's Day joke? I'll start with the judge. He's laughing.
Let me think on that for a sec.
Oh boy. Oh man. To keep it, today, I did not do anything today for April Fools. I forget what day it is at this point. But April Fools, I don't know if I have any. I will say
I have one while Trevor's thinking.
Let me think.
The Von Miller one was pretty funny today, where he trolled everyone that he was going to the Raiders.
Yeah, that was good. Anybody in the audience too that's coming in now, got a good April Fool's Day memory that you'd like to share with us? Love to hear it.
I will say I will give this one a great April Fool's joke today, and it was really funny, is Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos. That was the most BS, I think, article I've ever seen and ever heard written. Made no sense. Anybody that knows the Broncos quarterback situation knows better than that.
He
that
got
was
Mike Kliss. It got Mike Kliss, though.
Yeah. But normally, Kenny, I'm usually not a big April Fool's guy, but that one was pretty hilarious today. I kind of definitely laughed at that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I could, go back and remember some football ones too. Eli Manning getting traded towards the end of his career, played a joke on people with that one. Wish I knew Paul Rosen, my co-host on New York Football Giants Talk a few years ago, because that did get a couple people. I was like, yeah, he's getting ready to retire. I'm hearing rumors that Eli's going to be getting traded to I didn't even say that. We didn't say the Cowboys, but I think we said like the 49ers or somebody like that. And people fell for it. It was pretty funny. But we got a couple hellos coming in. Miss Pearl said hi all. And then our good friend, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. Good evening, Kenny, Trevor, Jody on the Denver Bronco Roundup. Go Bo Broncos, blue, orange, and the Mile High salute with 100 stars. Let's give them 100-star salute, everybody. Thank you, Michael Ronquillo, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo. And no April Fool's Day joke. Michael's an Arizona Wildcat fan, and I think that they're going to win it all, Michael. I think they're going to win it all. So no April Fool's Day there joke. No April Fool's Day joke there, my friend. And go Wildcats. And Michael's saying Von Miller had an April Fool's Day joke that he was signing with the Raiders. And he said that just a moment ago. And our good friend Glenn Ashley out there in Australia. Glenn, do you all have April Fool's Day out there in Australia? I'd love to know. Good afternoon, Kenny, Jody, Trevor, Posse, and Juicers. So many gullible people on April Fools. I guess there are April Fools out there in Australia. And there is definitely gullible people for sure. But all right, so we got some people joining. We're going to start with some news. In the monologue, I questioned if this is an April Fool's Day joke from Sean Payton and George Payton. I start with Jody. Jonah Elliss to learn inside linebacker, Jody. What are your thoughts on this?
At first, I wasn't.
Jody freeze?
No,
Jody froze.
My
No,
froze?
he's good. No, he's good.
Go ahead, Jody. You're back.
At first, I was kind of on the fence with it, but I think this is a move Denver trying to get good players on the field. Jonah Elliss is just caught in a numbers game right now, and if they're just trying to find a way to get him on the field. If this pans out, I think this is an incredible move. If it doesn't work out, leave him where he's at. So the more I think about it, I don't hate the move, to be honest. I think it also kind of puts writing on the wall for Drew Sanders. I think his time is very short here. But all in all, I don't hate the move. He's got it in his bloodline. His brother's a pretty good inside linebacker. So if this works out, it's a great move. It also shows that they're willing. I think that they have a lot of faith in Q Robinson as well to move up the depth chart. So, yeah. So the more I think about it, I like this move. So,
yeah, I'm with you, Jody. I'm a big Jonah Elliss fan. I loved when the Broncos took him last year, or 2 years ago. I loved him at Utah. I loved him local. Stays in the area. Learn another position. It's just going to make you more valuable in the NFL and more valuable for your team. You learn a new position. I do apologize if I'm a little glitchy or if it looks like my computer's having a seizure. I do have some storms in the area. The lights just flickered. So we do have thunderstorms. It reached almost 90 here today. So we're getting the summer thunderstorms tonight. So we're expecting them anywhere between 11 and 12 o'clock. So hopefully the lights stay on. Hopefully I'm with you guys and I don't lose power. But Jody gave us his thoughts, Trevor. What about your thoughts on Jonah Elliss learning inside linebacker? April Fool's Day joke, or are you taking it serious?
No, I think it's somewhat serious. I think the Luke's going to try him at inside linebacker. There's no guarantee that it's going to work out, but I think that I agree with Jody. They're trying to get Jonah Elliss on the field. Inside linebacker, they're a little thin on. And then Q Robinson, their 4th-round pick from a year ago, they're trying to get on the field a lot, which I love Q Robinson, one of my favorite draft picks from a year ago. And so I think it's to get multiple guys on the field and get playing time. But I will say this. I don't give a crap what Sean Payton and George Payton say about Jonah Elliss playing inside linebacker. You better go and dress that in the draft. Because there's no guarantee that Jonah Elliss is going to work out. There's no guarantee Drew Sanders is going to be on this freaking roster. I mean, you've got to have multiple depth there, because if you don't, it's gonna hurt this team down the line as the season goes on. Alex Singleton, Justin Strnad, good linebackers, but you can always use an upgrade. Plus, you can always use depth. I'm not 100% all in on Jonah Elliss being that inside linebacker. You've got to get something, got to get more of that inside linebacker, whether that's a late free agent signing before training camp or that's addressing into the draft. This doesn't change a thing for me when it comes to getting inside, having a need at an inside linebacker and going out there and getting one before you start the season.
Comment from Glenn. By the way, I think we're gonna have a special guest this evening. Special guest will be joining us in roughly 2 to 3 minutes, everybody. So excited about our special guest tonight. Glenn Ashley's coming in. I think Elliss will play a few packages at inside linebacker, and it's the right time to throw some draft smoke screens. It gets Elliss in the game more, and as long as it's not detrimental to his edge snaps. Jody, I'll ask you this question, the last thing on Elliss, and I'll ask Trevor and Posse as well. Trevor alluded to it. Does this throw a smoke screen and inside linebacker not as important now? And when pick 62 comes up and you don't, let's just say you pick 62, you don't move up, does it throw a smoke screen that you don't have to take an inside linebacker now in this draft early?
For me, definitely not. Alex Singleton is getting up there in age. Justin Strnad, he had kind of not a good year 2 years ago and then had a pretty good year last year. So he's kind of a wild card there. You've got to address middle linebacker in case one of those guys down, or you're looking at someone off the practice squad, Levon Bailey or somebody like that, Lavelle Bailey. And I don't know that you want to go that route when you've went all in for this Super Bowl run. So you definitely have to address it early.
I'm with you. Josiah Trotter, Jake Galladay, Kyle Lewis. All these guys are going to come into play now, I think, for the Broncos. And might see them try and get into the 3rd round as well. Trevor, your thoughts, and then I'll bring our special guest in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just keep it quick. I mean, for me, yeah, it doesn't change a dang thing. I mean, you've still got to have depth there at linebacker. And even if this was a smoke screen, I'm sorry, it's a bad freaking smoke screen, because all 31 other teams know that you need linebacker help. And that Alex Singleton, not the greatest in coverage. He's got his weaknesses. Justin Strnad, while solid, now he's going to be one of your primary guys. So every other team in the league knows that you've got to have a linebacker. So I don't think it's smoke screen really at all, because I think other teams should be able to see right through that. It should be where Jonah Elliss get some look at linebacker, but we still need to address linebacker in the draft, free agency, maybe both.
Yeah, absolutely. Our good friend Ernie Mays, Go Broncos Country Only. Hello, Kenny, Trevor, and Jody. Believe in our Broncos. A special guest. Wow, yeah, he's especially a special guest. I'll say that. You all love him, so definitely special guest. Glenn saying they didn't get Ibuka from me last year. They better get Jake Galladay at 62. That's his draft day crush. A couple more good friends of ours. Kid Cowboy Trevor saying, let's ride. Farm Boy coming in. Good evening. What's up, Kid Cowboy and Farm Boy? And Rangers blown out. He's a Texas Ranger fan there. So with all further ado, I want to welcome our special guest, and welcome back our lead horseman, Mr. Keith Brugman, back for a little early from his vacation. How are we doing, Keith?
Well, I hit the road at 9 a.m. this morning. Got in about an hour and a half ago, but didn't want to let the posse down. didn't want to let my horseman down. I decided to jump in for a show. I'm doing pretty good, my friend. How are you all doing?
Doing well, Keith. Doing well. Great to have you back. We're talking Broncos, and what better night to have you back about the Broncos. Give us your thoughts real quick on Jonah Elliss. I got Jody and Trevor's. Jonah Elliss to inside linebacker. Keith, you got any thoughts you want to add? Do you liked it? Are you nervous about it?
I like the idea that was brought up. I think it was Glenn Ashley that brought up the idea of, packages and putting them in as inside linebacker and utilizing him that way. And maybe using him as a smoke screen. I get it. It's not a great smoke screen. You don't have a first round draft pick. You know what I mean? You're down a little ways and you're limited on your picks now. I just remind Broncos country, it was not that long ago, the guy right to the side of me here was talking about how players will want to come to the Denver Broncos. Free agents will still want to come. We'll still make adjustments. Things are going to happen. I believe in our Broncos and what we're doing. I don't know. Call me optimistic coming off of vacation, but I'm feeling good about where the Broncos are sitting, especially among the AFC West.
Absolutely, Keith. And now that you mentioned that, it segues right into the fun little segment I have with you and our posse members, and surprise segment for our horseman tonight. You were on vacation and you went on a nice little road trip, and some photos were leaked. Were leaked of your vacation, Keith.
Sources.
And our first stop on your trip was Los Angeles.
Oh my goodness.
And you were in Los Angeles with Justin's Army. We may be low on fan power, but we're high on heart, Keith. Explain this, Keith, in Los Angeles, the start of your 2-week vacation to our posse and everybody.
Sometimes you got to get inside information and you got to play up the role, so I went in there feeling good, pumping up the Chargers and, trying to get some inside info. I'll leak that later, I guess.
And those
you'll have to wait for that now. This was all just a show, Broncos country. That's all I'm saying.
And these were the only 4 fans in LA with Keith, by the way. So Keith was with all of them.
I keep good company.
Yeah, so you did find the four loyal Charger fans over there in Los Angeles. But then his second stop on his vacation, a little further east, but still on the West Coast, he went to Las Vegas and hung out with the Raiders Nation over there. Keith, explain this one.
Once again, if you want to get the good intel, you gotta pretend like you're part of them. And if you're going to get in the inside, you really got to devote yourself. I'll leak it all later, man. But as far as the first round draft pick, maybe a surprise. I'm just going to put that out there. And
they tried hard to put the face paint on you and the shoulder pads, but I heard you declined.
I did. I think a little bit. You can only go so far. Only so far.
Yep. And your third stop on your trip, you went east before you headed back home. And you went to Kansas City, and you got the tomahawk chop up there with the tomahawk there saying, doing the tomahawk chop.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's over for Travis Kelce. I'm not trying to leak anything right now. I know he's in for another year, but I don't think it's going to be a good one. That's all I'm going to say. I got the inside, guys. I'm getting the inside info. I'm trying not to leak too much right now, but don't expect a lot out of Travis Kelce. I mean, let's face it.
And the truth was, Keith was hoping Taylor Swift would have been in the fans part of the fandom, but she wasn't. So he got to hang out with the other people.
I may have been told to turn my eyes away at one point. That's just all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Last but certainly not least, he made it back home to Denver. Happy April Fool's Day, posse. Happy April Fool's Day, horseman. Happy April Fool's Day, Keith. My little fun with you. Perfect day to come back on April Fool's Day for, to hang out with us for not only Denver Bronco Roundup, but for this fun little segment that we had for you.
I appreciate you, Kenny. You put me on the spot, man. I thought I rolled pretty well.
You did good. You passed. I loved it.
Secret vacation, huh?
Secret vacation, man. I do gotta say, I was in Arizona and the fact that the owners meetings were in Arizona this year, I was half tempted, but really, what am I going to do? Hang out in a parking lot, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, it was a great trip. I appreciate all the fun, and April Fools, everybody, and thank you,
Fools,
Kenny.
everybody. April Fool's Day posse. I know we didn't get you, but here's Ernie saying, Keith, you were at Chokerland in Los Angeles.
I was all over the place. I was in the middle of the Chargers fan base and Raiders Nation and holding the tomahawk. I was all over the place, man. April
Peter
Fools.
wants to know if you saw Von Miller while you were there, Keith.
Ooh, hanging out in Las Vegas, maybe. No, April Fools, everyone.
That's great. He's saying that head would be an iceberg without a beanie and Arrowhead.
Ouch.
And Keith's at Kermit's house in Kansas City. Ernie coming in. Kid Cowboy, Orange Crush, loving it. Keith's pre-draft infiltration 1926 or 26. Couple more coming in. Brandon, what's up, Brandon? Brandon's a Texan fan. He's been hanging out with us. Breaking news: Max Crosby passed his physical. Everybody.
Wow.
And then earlier, I wanted to get these two from Michael, and then we'll continue our show. So, Michael, anybody have some fun April Fool's Day jokes? Share them with us. So, Michael shared one with us. My job had a donut box on April Fool's, and some of my coworkers opened the box, and it was not sure what that is. Carrot and celery. Yeah, carrot and celery with ranch dressing, not donuts.
What a disappointment.
What a disappointment is right. Unless it's a carrot cake donut,
Oh, count me out of that.
And then Michael's saying, not an April Fool's Day joke. Let's wish him the best. But Puka Nacua entered rehab. Not an April Fool's Day joke, everybody. So get well soon, Puka. You need to get well. You're a true face of the NFL, and always enjoy watching you. But I'm ready to move on with the agenda.
Can I just say one thing to that real quick? I just before we got on, I actually read a thing that was put out by his attorney. He checked himself in to this clinic and fully expects to be back by OTAs. Ready to go for the Rams. So I guess just wish all the best to him and don't jump to conclusions right off the bat. There's a big story behind it. Everyone can go read, but hoping all the best for Puka.
Yeah, absolutely. Pearl saying hi, Keith.
Good to see you,
She
Pearl.
said hello to us so as well as earlier. And Roy Osborne coming in. Hey guys, how's it going? Just woke up from a nap. Well, I hope you had a good nap there, Roy. You missed the April Fool's Day stuff we had with Keith. Go back and watch that. You'll enjoy it. But ready to move on with the agenda. Trevor, pass it to you because you wanted to talk about the owners' meetings.
Well, let's pass it to Jody really quick. I'm going to pivot to the wide receiver 3, his segment really quickly, so I can gather some more information.
More info? Yeah. Jody, you wanted to talk about who's going to emerge as wide receiver 3. Obviously, you got the dynamic duo now of Sutton and Waddle, which arguably ceiling could be number 1. I don't think it's going to be much of a floor. I think you got a top 5 duo in those two. So who's going to be number 3, Jody wanted to know. So, Jody, take it away.
I just found this interesting. I heard Jeff Legwall on today, and he was pretty he was backing Marvin Mims as number 3. But he also said, for whatever reason, Sean Payton really likes Troy Franklin, and he's going to get targets. So, I guess for me, I think number 3, the guy I really want to see is Pat Bryant, because the more Pat Bryant can get on the field, I think it addresses something Keith brought up a couple weeks ago. If Pat Bryant can sneak into being a WR1 or 2, then you can make that decision on Troy or on Cortland Sutton. Do you need to pay that big contract? Do you need to keep paying that? That's the guy I think you want to see the most of is Pat Bryant. Can he advance enough to be that wide receiver 1 or 1A with Waddle. So for me, it's Pat Bryant. That's the guy I want to say. That's the guy I want to see getting the most snaps as the number 3 wide receiver for those reasons.
Roy's agreeing with you. He's saying, I agree, Judge. I like Bryant. And Glenn is as well. He's saying Pat Bryant will be wide receiver 3 with his blocking routes and catch execution. He makes everyone else around him better in run and pass game. Let's go to Keith. Do you agree, Keith? Do you want to go somebody different at wide receiver 3?
I'll kind of work backwards. I like Troy Franklin in this offense. I like the way that he works with Bo Nix. I like that has gotten better year after year. So I can't count out Troy. I can't count him out either. You know what I mean? As Troy Franklin and being that wide receiver 3. We'll have to see what training camp looks like. My big question mark is Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims, I believe, renegotiated his contract even, just as of recently. I think that makes him even more tradable if he's renegotiated his contract and made it less expensive this year, right? It has to be Pat Bryant, though, in the end, because of what Jody said. I brought it up a few weeks ago. Cortland Sutton is in a position to be moved on from after this year. And you got to figure out who you're going to have as that big wide receiver 1 that can take over. That's Pat Bryant. It isn't Troy Franklin. It certainly isn't Marvin Mims. And if I look at this roster, and if we're talking about, hey, we want a good linebacker, package Marvin Mims with a draft pick and move up. You're going to be much better at linebacker real quick. And you still have a full stable of wide receivers to take the field. Just my opinion, but I think it's a possibility that I would not rule out.
Can I ask a quick question on Mims for everyone real quick? Do you guys buy into he can't run a full route tree, or do you think that's made up garbage?
Outside perspective, it's garbage. You're an NFL player drafted in the second round. You should be able to run every route.
I think it's garbage.
Keith and Trevor, you want to answer that as well?
I've talked a lot. I'll just say garbage, and I'll go to Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's as polished as some of these other guys like Troy Franklin. And I say that because like they haven't used him the proper way, and you can say that's Sean Payton's fault as well. But I do think he's a little bit limited from the wide receiver standpoint, running routes. I think that was a problem for Marvin Mims back in the day. I think he's gotten certainly better at it, but I don't think it's quite where Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant can possibly be. It's why Marvin Mims still might be the guy that's looking on the outside when it comes to everything, especially after this season. So, yeah, I mean, I think he can run a full 9, and use his speed, but I just there's a reason they haven't used him up to this point as a wide receiver. I mean, speed guy, but. And we'll see. Hopefully he improves it a lot this year because this is the final year of his contract. I mean, it's now or never for Marvin Mims.
Big E says they need wide receivers that can get open in their first 2 to 3 steps. Marvin Mims and Franklin had that capability. Pat Bryant, in his opinion, is slower than our tight ends. Outside perspective, and obviously I cover the Broncos as well, but for me, it's Marvin Mims is going to be the number 3, Jody, to answer your question. Marvin Mims, it was always Cortland Sutton, and then the number 2 corners were covering Marvin Mims pretty much. Now you got Jalen Waddle on one side and Cortland Sutton on the other side. You can get creative with Marvin Mims in a Deebo Samuel type role when Deebo was in his prime. And even in Washington, he had a couple good years over there in Washington. You can get creative now. Davis Webb can get very creative, and you can, open up one-on-one situations with Sutton and Waddle with Mims doing some gadget type stuff. For me, it's Marvin Mims, and I think Marvin Mims is in line when I'm not going to say 1,000-yard breakout season, but I think Marvin Mims' contract year is in line for his best season of date. and I think he could be in for a big year. And Michael Ronquillo saying Marvin, Marvelous Marv Mims is my third wide receiver. Mine too, Michael. Mine too. Our good friend Martin coming in, everybody. Martin, whether Mims runs a full route tree, I'll leave you to pros. I'll leave you to pros. All I know is when we go to him, he always comes through. I'm with you. Again, I think he's going to be the number 3. Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant, good backups to Waddle and Sutton on both sides. Marvin Mims comes in as the number 3, in my opinion.
If he can't run a full route tree, was this a miss by Sean Payton drafting him in the 2nd round?
If that was the case, but I really don't see that. I think it's more utilization than it is actually capability. I see more screens. I mean, how many times do you even see? It was wonderful seeing him in Buffalo, but how many opportunities did he get like that in Buffalo? I saw a fantastic showing of what Marvin Mims is capable of in Buffalo, but he never got those opportunities. Those went other places, so it will be interesting to see how it plays out. They do have a lot of choices here. I do like the idea of getting a guy involved that might be taking over for a guy that's on a big contract going forward and you might want to move on from. But yeah, Marvin Mims, Franklin, Bryant, there's good choices. Now the Broncos have kind of ran it back.
Yeah, and we're going to see. It's a good question, Jody.
Sean Payton takes offense to that, right, Keith? That we're running it back.
He can take offense, but you call it what you see, man. I mean, what, Sean? Come on here and defend yourself. You didn't run it back in some capacity. Good Lord, everyone can see it. You had one outside signing.
I mean, a couple more comments, and our good friend Phil McLaughlin's coming in with a question that I'll hit for everybody. So let's finish the comments on the wide receiver 3. Glenn, Pat Bryant and Mims are perfect to complement Sutton and Waddle because he's our wild card and can be very creative with him. Biggie saying, I think Jalen will help him in his route tree the most. He doesn't cut sharp enough is what they're mean by rapture tree. Biggie, if you clarify that a little bit. I know I'm not the best with typing either, so I'm probably the worst. So
I can kind of see what he's saying. He kind of rounds off his routes. He's not sharp in his cuts. You look at Waddle, he's tight.
Gotcha. I think with Waddle in the lineup joining Sutton, Mims will do a lot more. Agree 100%. I think our playbook will be vastly different. I have Bryant ahead due to his blocking, Jody. That's what Glenn's saying about Pat Bryant. And then let's say hello to Phil McLaughlin. Phil, welcome, my friend. Happy April Fool's Day to you. Good evening, Keith, Kenny, Rocketman, and Judge. If Ellis is moved inside, do we still draft the inside linebacker at 62 if available? We'll start with Trevor.
I mean, Phil, and thank you for the comment. Great to see you in the chat. I think it's definitely in play. I mean, it depends on how aggressive this team wants to get, in my opinion, because you can stick at 62. I've also seen like moving backs out that should be out of the realm of possibility for this team. I mean, you have 100 top 100 pick. It's a little bit of a concern when you're talking about a team that's going to get expensive relatively quickly and already has. Yeah, I mean, I think it should all be in play for this team. I think linebacker for me is more of a priority than running back. I think linebacker is more of a priority for me, probably over tight end, because I think you can get tight end later in the draft. I think there's different tiers of linebackers in this draft, and I think once you start getting to 62, you're probably in that tier 2, tier 3-ish range at linebacker. So I think there starts to become a drop off, and so at some point in time, this team needs to reinvest in that linebacker room. long term. They haven't done it since Drew Sanders, and I know it's not looking very good right now. I get that, but you can't stop reinvesting in that linebacker room. So I expect them to address that probably at least round 2 or round 4 at least, maybe possibly move up to round 3.
That comes with 100 stars, by the way. Thank you, Phil. I'll get Jody and Keith's responses, and then we'll take our intermission for our wonderful sponsor tonight, Morgan Trinkets, our intermission break. So go to Jody. You're next on the screen. I'll go in order on the question here as I see you on the screen, Jody.
No, like I said earlier, I still think they should. Linebacker is probably their top need, in my opinion, just because the depth is not good there. What depth do they have there after your starters?
Yeah. And Keith, do you agree with the guys, or are you going different?
I'll go different. Just because if you're going to sit there at 62, I don't like the value. I don't think you're getting a guy that can come in and it's going to be able to, be an automatic performer. Go someplace like safety. Safety is typically undervalued by the time you get to 62, and I think you can get a great value. If you're trying to get an impact player that's going to hit the field and contribute right away, I think it's tough to get a impact player at 62 at linebacker. A lot of more research to do. Excited to get into it, but that's my opinion right now.
And leaning more towards Keith. Go ahead, Trevor.
Real quick note on that while Keith's bringing that up. George Payton did say at the owner meetings that they are not or they wouldn't be hesitant to possibly trade up as well. So just keep that in mind. At 62, I mean, I just said they could possibly trade back or stay put, but did not mention possible move up. That was mentioned to George Payton, and he said that they would. That's going to be in play for them as well, and so maybe they package one of those 4th round picks along with that 2nd round pick and possibly move up to get whatever position, whatever guy that they're in love with in the 2nd round.
Yeah, I love that.
My opinion, you're picking at 62. We'll just play it like that's going to be your pick. You can't trade. You couldn't get a trade up. Couldn't get a trade back. 62 is going to be a very, very important pick for the Broncos because of where you watch your first pick in this draft, and it's at the end of the 2nd round. If your top linebackers are off the board in the 2nd round, and let's just say, defensive tackle is a better value, I'm going defensive tackle at 62. And that's just, my opinion. And I think that's the way they will go. And you dress linebacker later on. And follow up real quick. We'll do this one quick hitter, rapid fire style. Yes or no? Start with Jody. Do you think Sanders makes the 53, Jody? Yes or no? Follow up from Phil McLaughlin.
That's a tough one. If I was going to say right now, I'll probably say yes, just because they have no depth there. So until I see them address it, where are you going to go? Who's your third linebacker, middle linebacker?
I'm going to say yes as well. Keith?
Well, after the inside information from Trevor saying that we might trade up and that there's a possibility of adding a linebacker to this roster earlier in the 2nd round, I would say no.
Trevor?
I think yes, and the reason I say that is, and he's going to have to earn his roster spot too. I mean, it's not going to be given to him by no means, but I think they've invested quite a bit of time and work with Drew Sanders over the years of him not being on the field, that I think they at least want to see what he has when he's on the field, and so he'll get, I think, a good run during the preseason, and then that will determine. But I say slightly yes right now.
Well said.
53.
Yep. Let's do this, guys. Let's take a quick little intermission break and talk about our wonderful sponsor this evening. Our wonderful sponsor is Morgan Trinkets. You all know Miss Pearl Heater in our posse. She's also in our juicer. She supports all our shows at Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and she's the owner of Morgan Trinkets. They have specialized in Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices for over 35 years. You can catch Morgan Trinkets online on Etsy by typing in Morgan Trinkets.
Can I
catch them?
Can I interrupt for just a second? Because Pearl got me with some information.
Sure.
She's switching over. She actually is no longer doing Etsy.
Okay, so you can catch them on eBay.
She's actually getting a brand new Shopify store
Nice.
that is going to be fantastic, everybody. So hold on to that. But a brand new Shopify store that's coming out. I couldn't let you go on,
Appreciate it.
Kenny.
Yeah,
So
no.
appreciate it.
Definitely. And good luck, Ms. Pearl. We'll definitely look forward to spreading that wonderful news on all our shows. But you can catch them right now on eBay at Pearl Heat. And Keith, I don't have the live shows in front of me, but I know there's one coming up, I think, called The Dog Show. Is that in Greeley, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken?
Ooh, I
Ms.
believe
Pearl, if you're
so,
out
but
there, don't hold me to that, everybody, but I know this much, and I'm not a silver collector, but silver prices are off the chain right now, and you can get the best prices at wholesale prices on silver with Miss Pearl. She will take very good care of you. And if you're a silver collector, now's the time to invest. Or if you want to start collecting anything silver, now's the time to invest. Or, Easter's coming up, Mother's Day soon in May. Go look, more Mother's Day's right around the corner.
I'll get all the information because she's not on eBay, she's not on Etsy, and I'll get that Shopify information out to everybody. I promise.
Okay.
I'll promise
I
it'll
thought
be
you were
on the
still on
next
eBay. I apologize,
Nope.
everybody.
It's okay. It's okay, man. Like I say, breaking information. It's like Adam Schefter over here. I don't know. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Let me take another 30 seconds to put some comments
April
on the
Fools.
board.
Yeah. No April Fools.
Let me catch up on some here. Our good friend JC Weaver chiming in. What's up, JC? Hello, gentlemen. Hope you guys are having an amazing April Fool's Day, hump day. I'm going to add that to the hump day there. We are JC, and I hope you are as well. Phil, I put his question up, and then JC came back. My biggest low-key hope is that we draft a legit returner to replace Mims because his days are numbered with this being his contract year. I'll give you a name. Trevor and I have been doing the Pick Is In mock draft show. Lorenzo Styles Jr. Low-key. Yeah, he's the brother of Sonny Styles, but I'm still calling him low-key because he may go in the 6th round, 7th round, or undrafted. 4.3 speed, was a Notre Dame wide receiver, converted corner over at Ohio State. Bring him in 6th, 7th round with that speed, teach him how to punt return. Or kick return with that speed. And that's a low-key guy that I would tell you to look out for if you want to go that route and find a returner and contributor on special teams, and see what you get there in the 6th, 7th round. And the brother of Sonny Styles, the pedigree's there.
Can Waddle return?
Yes.
No. Well, yes,
Yeah,
but
yes, but no.
Yeah.
He was a returner at Alabama. He even returned at times in Miami. I mean, it wasn't a ton, but he did it. Why can't he do it for the Broncos? Why is he like all of a sudden, waved off from that ability? I mean, my goodness gracious. Yes, Waddle can do it.
Michael.
And will he, though? That's the question.
Michael was with us for the Pick Is In draft show, the Juice Football Talk show this week. And I mentioned a couple players I was going to watch tape on. And I did, Michael. Wide receiver Ted Hurst. Keith loves him. Did you watch his highlights? Yes. Georgia State wide receiver. Excellent highlights, Michael. Again, the question's going to be, can he play to an elite level in the NFL because of the team he was on? I think this is going to be a riser in the draft, and I could see him going in the 3rd round, and maybe a team using him just like also a kick returner, punt returner type, and possibly like Marvin Mims type as well. A lot of different things you can do with Ted Hurst, and a guy that I liked his tape, Michael. Guy that I think could be in play for many teams, and including the Broncos, if that's what they're looking for as a replacement for Marvin Mims or another wide receiver on this roster. I want to get to Trevor's segment, but let me get a couple more comments in, and they're coming in, and we love you, Posse. Keep them coming in. A couple more on Sanders. Peter doesn't think Sanders makes it. They'll keep Lavelle Bailey or Kareem Reed, fellas, who Payton is supposedly big on. Roy wants to see Drew gone. What's up, Mr. Mills? Mr. Mills is back, Steeler fan. Mr. Mills joining us. He was here with us, Keith and Jody, on the draft show. Welcome back, Mr. Mills. Contract too large. Martin saying, I want to know if Franklin can return balls. Trevor's shaking no. Why not, Trevor?
Well, first of all, what's Troy Franklin's biggest weakness? Drops footballs. Why would you put him back there? Yeah, why would you put him back there to return? No, he doesn't, and that's the thing. We talk about special teams all the time. Troy Franklin, that's something he has lacked, is special teams and be able to play on special teams. That's why he's got to meet. If Troy Franklin's going to be an impact on this roster, it's going to have to be catching balls from Bo Nix as his wide receiver in this offense.
Keith, could McLaughlin be used as a returner from Phil?
This is the one thing I will say. All reports are that Sean Payton wants to actually upgrade at a returner to put next to Marvin Mims, to make Marvin Mims that more dynamic, because they'll have to kick to him more often. Right now, if you look at most of the kickoff returns, it's a 2, return set, 2 guys back there. And regardless of who we put back there with McLaughlin, they're more apt to try to kick it to that other guy rather than Marvin Mims. They want to get him more involved. So if he does end up staying on this team, if he does end up being that wide receiver 3 and he ends up being that return guy, I expect them to invest in that return ability, because that's something that you can get later. He doesn't have to be a dynamic wide receiver. He doesn't have to be a dynamic cornerback. But if he has great return abilities and you can put him next to Marvin Mims and he's a threat, they think that's a threat that they can put them over the top in the special teams.
Yeah. Let's one more comment, and then I'm going to pass it to Trevor for some owners meeting news. Peter Johnson with Sonny Styles. If you've seen Sonny Styles and his dad, you'll know his genetics are good, would be a good late round pick. And that's what I look for. And I know a lot of teams look at picks differently in the late rounds, but if I was in the war room, I'm looking for guys with upside. And homework for everybody, my horseman, Trevor, I'm sure he did the homework already because he's high on him. Talking about running backs, you want a late running back? Yes, I got it right here, Keith. and I got the Caleb Downs one.
Oh, man.
Getting a double plug from Athlon Sports. I love it.
Keith really is a Raiders fan. He's got Fernando Mendoza on the
cover. That's great. But Adam Randall would love for you all to go on YouTube and look at his highlights. Converted wide receiver, 6'3", 230-pound running back now for last year for Clemson. You want a guy that can do both in the late rounds? Look for upside. Sonny Styles, upside. Converted corner, safety from wide receiver. Adam Randall, wide receiver to running back. Those are the guys I'm looking for in late rounds for the Broncos this year, because you got to hit on those late round picks this year. Look at those 2 names, Broncos country, and along with Ted Hurst, like Michael pointed out a few minutes ago. Look at those 3 names on video and tell me what you think. That's your homework assignment from Mr. K over here.
I had a mind-blowing thought, guys. Just put Waddle next to Mims in the return. Just put Waddle next to Mims. Who are they going to kick to? Your choice. Your choice.
Yep. Glenn saying we hit with the late round special teams last year with Crawshaw. Yep. Just saying, I called that one out. I was going to get T-shirts made. Pat on the back. The stash. But let's do this, guys. We got about 15-ish minutes left, give or take. Chat's coming in great. Trevor's got some owners meeting news and stories. Keep comments coming, chat, and, play along, answer along the questions he has for everybody.
Yeah, so this can be. I mean, we can really go around the show here between all of us, and there's a couple of big things that stuck out to me. Both Sean Payton and George Payton, what they talked about when it comes to the roster construction of this team and whatnot. So, first one I want to bring up is George Payton when he spoke. Pretty much flat out said Broncos are not, there's no plans for them to trade any wide receivers. So that's Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, Cortland Sutton, post Jalen Waddle trade, there's no plans at all. Flat out no. Said there's no sense of moving pieces from that room right now. They've invested plenty in that wide receiver room. What is your reaction to George Paton saying that? Should we be surprised he's saying that? Or I know you're obviously not going to come out and flat out say, "Oh, I'm trading this wide receiver today." Like we know that, but like this seemed like George Paton was pretty steady on no wide receivers getting moved. Keith, Jody, Kenny, all your guys' reactions to George Paton saying that. Are you surprised that possibly the really good possibility that there's no wide receivers possibly being moved this offseason post Jalen Waddle trade?
Well, TW's coming in. He's lying for sure. So we got the first answer. Welcome, TW. Good to see you again.
I don't want to see any traded. I'll go first. I don't want to see any traded. I have ripped on this wide receiver room for drops and stuff, but I've also said I didn't want another mid wide receiver brought in here to, take reps away from these guys. So, I like our wide receiver room. Even going back to Trevor Franklin, he's probably the one I'm the hardest on, but he is the one with probably the most upside because of his size and speed. So, yeah, I don't want to see anyone gone from here. The only way I really see a wide receiver moved is like Devon Bailey last year. If some team just throws you an offer that you can't turn down, then okay. But I would probably I would say if any, it's Mims or Franklin. I can't see Bryant just because of what we talked about. They're grooming him to be that 1 or 1A. And then obviously Waddle's going nowhere. And then I can't really see anyone wanting Cortland Sutton still right now, maybe in a year or so when some numbers change and stuff, but I can't see anybody wanting that right now. So not for what Denver's going to want. Denver's probably going to want at least a 2 or a 1 for Sutton, and I can't see a team giving that up. So if anyone, it's Franklin or Mims, but I don't want to see that unless you get an overhaul like you did for Devon Bailey.
And Keith, your thoughts?
My thoughts? Well, I've already called out our head coach, so I might as well call out our GM. Tell me you're not running it back. I mean, I guess it's not surprising, because if you just follow the trail, we've smelled all the clues. If they're not going to trade anybody, I guess they're not going to trade anybody. I would hope it's a smokescreen. I would hope that there's still opportunities. I liked when you first started saying there's no plans because plans change, but there's no sense in moving anybody, as you kind of restated. Kind of restates it for me. I guess it sounds like that room's coming back and we're running it back. So Sean Payton, George Payton, tell me different. You want to come on the air? I'd be glad to discuss it.
Yeah. Kenny?
Yeah, real quick. We got Keith Stober coming in. What's up, Keith? Good to see you. George lies. He is saving face. If the deal comes, he is going to take the draft capital.
Can I say something on that real quick, not to interrupt you? The reason also I don't think that they're going to trade anybody is if you're in true win now mode and your goal is Super Bowl right now, draft picks next year do you nothing. So do you want a draft pick for next year, or do you want a guy that can contribute this year? And I'll use Mims as a perfect example. Whether he's helping you in the wide receiver room or not, he's still an all-pro punt returner. And so do you want to get rid of that when your true goal this year is Super Bowl or bust?
I get what you're saying. I get what Keith's saying. Get what Keith Stober and everybody else is saying. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say right now you're not going to make any moves at wide receiver. I believe that. I believe everything is set in stone right now. But you can't tell me if running it back and just throwing a record out there, you got 4 losses and the Chiefs and Chargers are right there with you at the trade deadline. You got an injury at a key position and you're loaded with depth at wide receiver. You cannot tell me you're not going to try and make a player for player trade. and that may include Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, or Marvin Mims. Maybe for a defensive guy, an edge rusher or something. You get a player for a player type deal. I'm a Giants fan. Maybe Kayvon Thibodeau. If you needed an edge rusher, Kayvon Thibodeau for Pat Bryant, one-on-one deal. We can use wide receiver help. You can use edge rusher. That's how it gets done. I do not see wide receiver. The depth is there now. You can use that to your advantage at the trade deadline if you need a piece to get you to that Super Bowl at the trade deadline because of an injury or things aren't going as planned in that group. That's the way I would think it's a possibility, Trevor, of a wide receiver being moved.
And my quick thoughts on this subject really quick. I've said all along, this Broncos brass is high on the wide receivers. I mean, you can disagree with that if you want. That's fine, but they don't care what the outside perspectives what they say about their wide receiver room, their roster. They've made that clear. I will say I disagree with them on Marvin Mims, though. It doesn't make sense for me to trade Troy Franklin right now, Pat Bryant right now. Pat Bryant's not going to have much value. Troy Franklin, he's probably going to be the wide receiver other than Sutton that you're going to have the most value on. But those guys are under multiple years of contractual control. You have them on their rookie deals longer term than Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims is going in the final year of his contract. Please tell me you're going to be able to pay Marvin Mims $10 to $12 million a year, and then to be your punt returner, your kick returner. I just it's a big question. Once you just traded for Jalen Waddle, his cap hit's going to be way more than what it is this offseason and this season. And so that cap going up for Waddle, for me, I think it pushes Marvin Mims out the door even more. So I think Marvin Mims kind of knows it. He was on Altitude Sports and he talked about it, and he kind of seemed like he was a little down about that trade. Like, oh, my role is probably going to be diminished even more so now. I know he didn't come out and exactly say that, so I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. But what I'm trying to say is, like, deep down, you can kind of get that feeling. And we'll see. Hopefully he does, break out. This is a breakout year. I'm always advocating for players to get paid. But for me, Marvin Mims at least has to be on the table to possibly be moved. I know he's a Pro Bowl kick returner on special teams. I get that. But you've got to think about value at the end of the day. And you've got to think about, hey, do I just want to let this guy walk for nothing and then get a comp pick in 2 years? Like, that does you no good for me. Like, you at least got to see what Marvin Mims' market is out there and would a team be willing to pay up in draft picks for a guy like Marvin Mims. What would that look like? Plus, give him a contract long term. So, and maybe it puts Marvin Mims in a better situation to be successful, that he can't be on this roster. So everybody else makes no sense for. Marvin Mims, though, that's one player that I would be shopping around a little bit right now. Some people are going to call me crazy for that. That's fine. But you've got to think about also long-term goals of this team too. Yes, you want to win a Super Bowl. You can find kick returns, you can find punt returners, and special teamers that can be all pros. Marvin Mims, drafting him in the second round, you weren't drafting him in the second round to be an all-pro on special teams. You were drafting him in the second round for him to be an established wide receiver in this league.
Yeah. Let me get a couple comments in, Trevor, and I'll let you continue because I do want to hit Martin's up, but I do want to say hello, everybody. Even though he only said hello, I'm going to give him a hard time once in a while. Even though he only said hello to the judge and me, Mr. Patrick Wiltsey's coming in. Hello, Trevor, and Keith, too. I know he just forgot to add that.
Come on, Patrick.
Our good friend, Patrick Wiltsey. Aloha, my friend. Lion Coffee.
Keith who?
Trevor's drinking the Lion Coffee over there and not even getting a hello from Patrick. Got to give you a hard time, Patrick. Love you. Appreciate all the support and, keeping us caffeinated here at Rocky Mountain Sports Network shows and outside of our shows, too, in our home lives, keeping us well caffeinated. Go check out lioncoffee.com. And I'm in love with the gold roast, Keith. It's become my new favorite. It's more like almost like a breakfast blend. And I drink that in the early mornings at work, 3, 4 a.m., and it goes down nice and smooth and relaxing for the day.
Absolutely. Love it, man. Love it.
Yep. But I like Martin's comment, guys. And I'll go to Keith on this. Do you like this idea from Martin? If Pat Bryant does well before the trade deadline, it's Sutton that'll be moved. Bold take there.
The only way I see Sutton getting moved is if this team has completely fallen apart and the trade deadline is there. and someone goes out there and picks up the rest of his contract for this year, and then what would be an opportunity for the Denver Broncos to move on next year is basically accelerated by, I don't know, a few weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it happens to be for the team that picks it up. That's the only way I see Sutton getting moved this year. Hopefully we don't see that. Hopefully he plays the entire year.
I have one other way, I think, if you have a starter go down early or you have a big need, one big need, and you are confident in this wide receiver room, I could see you possibly moving off of Sutton and whoever that is, if you're going to trade and go, and I'm just throwing out names, go get a Fred Warner or something because Alex Singleton's went down or somebody's went down, and you need that one piece because you can just tell you're in Super Bowl window or you have a great chance to get there.
Let's do this, guys. I'm looking at the time. We'll go a few minutes over time because, Trevor, I know you got one or two more stories you want to hit real quick, right?
Yeah.
All right. Got a lot of comments coming in, so we're here for you, Posse. Trevor's got a couple more good ones for everybody. We'll be back doing mock drafts next week for sure. And the mock pick is in mock draft show covering all 32 teams.
Absolutely. So the Broncos brass wasn't very thrilled with this free agent class. Sean Payton, George Payton, they've came out and said it. You can see it by their actions and them, obviously the lack of moves that they've made. Pretty much bringing back everybody else. Yes, Sean Payton. It's running it back. Okay, I know you don't like hearing that, but it is what it is. Keith, I agree with you. So my first question. Yeah, exactly. I probably won't be going to any Broncos pressers anytime soon. But
access denied.
Yeah, pretty much. But so Sean Payton had mentioned it, that Dobbins was a priority. George Payton has said it too, that J.K. Dobbins was a priority to bring back. We don't know, obviously, on players that they did not bring in. We never know this. Teams will sell you all day long on their rosters and their players and how much they love them. They will never tell you the players we were close on this player, or we were close in this position, we were close on multiple guys. They will never come out and say that. See, we will never know what players they were close on deals with or anything like that. We don't know. We won't know the backstage details on that. But going off what Sean Payton said, J.K. Dobbins was a priority over all other running backs. Are you thrilled with J.K. Dobbins being back? They did say that they know his injury history, but they are confident that he can stay healthy going forward. Did they make a mistake? And so it's a two-parter. Did they make a mistake maybe pushing their chips still in on J.K. Dobbins a little too much? Keith, we'll start with you.
Man, right up there on the screen. First off, yes, I think if it's an all-in on J.K. Dobbins, I think it's a mistake. I've been on here before. I don't like the fact that he's had multiple seasons and only once played for 15 games. You can say, I'm not often injured, but you're often injured. So that's not where I want to put my chips into. Secondly, going back to the last segment and now going to this, or going back to the last point of the what George Payton said and now what we're talking about now. I'll go back to what Sean Payton says. Why would I tell you anything? Why would I tell you anything? Of course he's going to come out there and say that we're really happy with J.K. Dobbins because that's who you got and that's your player and that's who's on your team. It does make me question when he says all these guys on my wide receiver room are basically there, because why would you tell me that? I'll go back to the smoke screen that Glenn was talking about earlier, and I'll digress. I'll go to Jody now.
No, I think he was their number one priority. As quick as they signed him, as much as they paid him, I don't think he was going to get anywhere close to that from any other team or get signed. He'd probably still be a free agent if it wasn't for Denver right now. So I think that they pretty much proved that they value him very much. I mean, I think both of them have said he was top 4 running back till he got hurt. It was a fluke injury on a illegal drop down tackle. And Sean Payton, he also acknowledged that these are not soft tissue injuries. But like Trevor said, they are confident that he can be healthy. And I think that, along with they are fully invested in RJ Harvey. I mean, he was another second-round pick. So, yeah, I think Sean Payton still is living on the last 2 years where they really have not got hurt. I mean, Brandon Jones kind of down the stretch, that was really the only guy. Him and Dobbins. The last 2 years that they've really lost for a significant amount of time that didn't come back. So I think they think that they have whatever it takes to get that with Dobbins as well. And if he's healthy, I mean, to be honest, he's probably a top 5 running back in the league when healthy. He was last year.
Kenny.
TW doesn't like the running back room. Says it's stinky. Phil's got a nice comment here. Good point. I thought it was ironic that in the same presser he talked about looking at running back in the draft.
Yeah.
My issue, and by the way, Biggie Trevor wants you to look at Oklahoma's wide receiver Deion Burke scouting report. Oh, you got homework. For me, I'm going to read some names off to you. Trevion Henderson, Kayshawn Judkins, Marion Hampton, Cam Scatterbo, Bashul Tootin. What do all of them have in common? I'm not even going to bring Ashton Janty. You can add Ashton Janty to that. All number one, all going to be at least a 50-50 split, in my opinion, in the running back room. What did you draft RJ Harvey for last year? To develop him to be the number one running back. He's going to be the number one guy this year. I'm calling it now. Hot take. RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins can get his 10 to 12 carries. You keep him healthy. You keep those fresh legs for the playoffs. And that's when you give him the 20 carries in the playoffs when you need it. Don't get J.K. Dobbins hurt. You bring him back. You give him 10 to 12 carries a game. Keep him with fresh legs. RJ Harvey's going to be the guy this year. It's going to be 60-40 RJ Harvey, maybe 65-35 RJ Harvey. It's going to be a big year for RJ Harvey. J.K. Dobbins will be the veteran guy and do what you need without overdoing it and getting him hurt like last year.
By the way, Kenny, you can keep yourself on screen, but going through your list, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, you're producing. Going through your list, at first I thought you were talking about guys who got injured last year. How many of those? Go through your list again of running backs.
Judkins, Scatterbo, they both got hurt. Hampton got hurt. Henderson did not. And Tootin was pretty much healthy. Yeah. Those are just some guys.
So 3 out of 5. At first, I thought that you were going after injured running backs. So funny you went a different direction.
But I think all these guys are going to be at least 50% of their running back room's offense next year. So RJ Harvey should be there. And I don't need to draft a running back in the first or second round. Well, you don't have first round pick. I don't need a running back in the second, third round. You want to get a guy late and take a flyer on him, a big boy, like that guy from Clemson, go for it. But I don't need another guy like RJ Harvey or I don't need the Penn State guys or the I know, in all due respect, a lot of people, and I like them too, the Washington running back. You don't need them, Denver Broncos country, in my opinion. Coleman, you don't need it. You got that. You got RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey was a rookie last year. He did okay. He did good. I think he can do better.
Stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jody.
When Sean Payton says that they're looking at running backs in this draft, do you think that's more of they're not happy with Bidet, McLaughlin, whoever else is that third running back to fill that role?
Trevor?
And that's where I throw out like a Price because he also can return.
Well, I'll say this: if you draft a running back at 62, you don't give me this crap that you believe in RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, because you're in 100%. Because I'm getting mixed signals from Broncos brass right now when it comes to, yes, they like J.K. Dobbins. Well, probably because you weren't going to pay Travis Etienne the money he wanted because you had your eyes on Jalen Waddle. You just couldn't really, be able to do both. But J.K. Dobbins was affordable. It's a decent contract, I would say. Probably pretty team friendly. You can get out of it after a year. But don't tell me like, oh, we like our running back room. You brought back every single running back from last year, but we're gonna look at it in the draft. Okay, if you take one at 62, that's 2 years in a row you've taken running back in the second round. I'm not buying that you love this running back room if you're taking one at 62. Later on in the draft, okay, I can understand that because that's probably a guy taking Jaleel McLaughlin's spot, maybe a Tyler Baday's spot. But if you're gonna draft Jadavian Price in the second round, what the heck are you doing at running back? Like, what is this mixed signal around the circle? You're beating around the bush, but clearly you don't like your running back room because you've got to invest in the running backs 2 years in a row in the second round. I mean, when you have other glaring needs, or like maybe you pick up a safety in this draft because Brandon Jones may not be back next year. Who knows? Like, there's other positions where you can address, but you choose to do that at running back again for a second year in a row. Don't give me that you like this running back room a lot. If they draft one later on, I will buy it a little bit more. I think also the RJ Harvey development, I think that he did show some promising signs. There's still going to be a lot of pressure on RJ Harvey this year to perform because, again, J.K. Dobbins, you can count on him about half the season. The other half, RJ Harvey's going to have to take over and be that guy for this team, or I'm afraid this team might be in trouble yet again at running back.
Trevor, let's do this. You got one more story.
Yeah,
give everybody like a 2-minute warning to get their comments in. We'll get our final thoughts in. I'll answer Glenn's real quick. Glenn wants to know about Jam Miller. He's another big boy. I would take a shot at a big running back if I was the Broncos. 5th, 6th, 7th round, day 3. That's it. Give me the big guy. If he hits all 3 phases like the guy we like from Clemson, I'm in on it, Glenn. Absolutely. But back to you, Trevor. I know you said you got one more story for us.
Yeah, and it's about Dre Greenlaw. So obviously the Broncos released Dre Greenlaw post for June 1st designation, saves them around $6 to $8 million. Splitting that money up. George Payton was asked about that, and he said, called Alex Singleton and Justin Strnad really good players and said they couldn't keep all 3, which led to releasing Dre Greenlaw. My question is simple. Why couldn't they keep all 3? I know there's issues with Dre Greenlaw. I get that. Well, why couldn't you keep all 3? Jody, I'll go to you first. Jody, I'll go to Jody first.
Jody.
But for 2 reasons, I think one is Justin Strnad said he wasn't coming back unless he was a starter. So if you were bringing him back, he's guaranteed 1 spot, almost. And then 2, I don't think you could keep, and it's not really keep all 3, but all the garbage that Dre Greenlaw that he caused himself with, talking down how Sean Payton does training camp compared to Kyle Shanahan, and how this defense was like learning Spanish. I just did that, along with not being on the field for 8 games or 9 games, and one was completely his fault for going after the ref. I think Sean Payton just said, I don't really. And like Keith has said, name the one incredible play that you've seen from Dre Greenlaw this year. I mean, he made plays, but what was the one just big hit or something that he did that turned the game around? He had the interception in Washington, but other than that, what? So I think that's why they moved on from him. The drama and Strnad saying, if you bring me back, I want to be a starter or I'm not coming back. And then Sean Payton's ego, someone talks bad about him, you're out the door.
Keith?
For me, I'll go back to what we just end up talking about. And that's why I didn't understand why we brought J.K. Dobbins back, because he falls in the same boat as Dre Greenlaw. If you can't be on the field and I'm trying to get to a Super Bowl, then of course you're going to be the odd man out. Dre Greenlaw, in my opinion, was the odd man out because he couldn't stay on the field. And then, as Jody mentioned, once he does, it's Spanish to him for some reason. He made an easy decision for him. It's the same reason I don't buy the fact that we're fine with our running back room, and I do buy the fact that we're going to be looking in the draft again, because you got to find who's going to be that 50-50 guy next to RJ Harvey, because it's not going to be J.K. Dobbins. It can't be. I'm sorry. I know that me and Jody are in disagreement, but after this year, you're going to have to find a replacement regardless.
Mm-hmm. Kenny?
I agree with Keith, and that replacement's going to be RJ Harvey. He's going to be the starter in the future. You got him in the second round, and I know TW says a reach. They saw something in him, and I think it's going to develop into something good. I think you're going to see a future star running back in Denver. I do. But to Andre Greenlaw,
yeah,
who's Justin Stranad to say I want to be a starter? I mean, come on. You were a backup your whole life. You got lucky. You got in because of the injuries. And why are you moving off Dre Greenlaw because of an injury? Then you should have moved off of J.K. Dobbins. That to me tells you something where Dre Greenlaw went back, right? He went back to San Francisco. So it tells you San Francisco knows they like him. And now they got themselves Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw side by side. And I would not want to be opposing running back running at those two next year. So I think it was a mistake. And I'm not calling out Broncos country. I'm not calling out anybody in particular, media included. But there's a lot of people that said, we got the best running back, best linebacker in football, Dre Greenlaw. Let's go. We got the best signing on the offseason. And now nobody has a problem that the Broncos released him. I do, and I'm not a Broncos fan. You brought him in, and everybody was excited, and people on here too, and they know who they are. We got the best. We got the best. My friends outside the posse here that are Bronco fans. The best. We got the best linebacker in football. And you're okay. Why? Because it's Sean Payton that didn't want him back. You're all okay. No. Not okay. Dre Greenlaw's back. Not okay. He went back to San Francisco, and when he has a monster year over there and Justin Stranad is having just an okay year, maybe we'll start saying we should have brought Dre Greenlaw back.
I will say, to piggyback off this a little bit, I think it's actually the Broncos probably did what was best for their culture. And I know that we're talking about the player, and I get they need linebacker. I understand that. And that's where I'm coming off this. Like, they should have addressed linebacker at some point in free agency, probably. But I don't think Dre Greenlaw wanted to be at Denver anymore. I don't get that vibe that I think he always wanted to be back in San Francisco all along. So much so that San Francisco, he told San Francisco before he came to Denver that they, he was going to give them a chance to match any offer another team made. That's how badly he wanted back in San Francisco. So I don't think Dre Greenlaw quite bought in to this team's culture, quite fit in with what Sean Payton wanted to do. And so I think it was probably best for both sides to move off of, for the Broncos to move off of Dre Greenlaw long term. Obviously, he can't stay healthy. That's been an issue. It seems like for a lot of Bronco free agents, a lot of Bronco players, and recently new additions to this team. But I think both sides wanted to move on, and that's tough. I mean, that's tough. Sean Payton talked about it a little bit. It's tough when that you have that caliber of a player and things just aren't going to work out for both sides. Like, both sides don't want to be in line together and connect anymore. And so I think the Broncos probably did Dre Greenlaw a favor. It didn't take him long to re-sign back with the San Francisco 49ers. I think he always wanted to be a 49er. Unfortunately, it just did not work out in Denver. And again, wishing nothing but the best, but I think it was probably best for both sides to move on.
Can I piggyback off that for a second?
Can I just say one thing? One quick thing.
Some final thoughts in.
One quick thing. I just want to say I think the breaking point was Spanish classes. But anyway, Trevor. All right, Jody, go ahead.
I agree with Trevor because you have Mike McGlinchey, you have DJ Jones, you have Hufanga, all these guys that came from San Francisco, and you don't hear any of them bash how this training camp was and how Kyle Shanahan runs is much better. You don't hear any of that from them. Why was that from Greenlaw? From there was a disconnect in him being here for some reason, whatever that was. I don't know if it was he was upset Sean Payton held him out the extra couple weeks in the beginning of the season. Did he hold him out an extra couple weeks at the end of the season? I don't know, but whatever that disconnect was, he voiced some things that I think if you were on the fence, it made the fence fall over with Sean Payton, where he said, like I asked, what was the big game or whatever, name one big play that he made where you're like, damn, that was just a massive hit that he laid. You can name multiple hits that Hufanga did and different things. What did Greenlaw do?
You got to see him healthy. That's the key. And you rushed him back. You rushed him back, in my opinion. He wasn't ready to come back, but that's for another day. You know, again, we'll see. I think with a healthy Dre Greenlaw, I'd rather have over Stranad and Singleton. And Michael said I wanted Greenlaw and Justin Stranad over Singleton. You know, I think a healthy Greenlaw would take over either one of them two by far. That's just my opinion from an outside perspective.
2 seconds, two words. I just think it has a lot to do with system sometimes too. You know, we've seen it multiple times over, and I have no doubt that Dre Greenlaw could look good this next year, and I hope him all the best. But sometimes it is Spanish to English. It is asked to do different things that you weren't asked to do, and sometimes it's like, hey, I was able to play free in that system in San Francisco, for instance, and I think he was able to play a little bit more free. He could do fantastic. I wish him the best, but I think it just wasn't a system fit.
And if that's really true in this system, then it's pretty obvious why they value Alex Singleton so much, because he's your green dot. He makes plays, and if this really is that hard of a system to learn, like Greenlaw's claiming, Singleton has got it down, and I don't think they really feel like training a new guy right now in this Super Bowl window.
Let's do this, guys. Let's get our final thoughts in. Posse, final comments of the night. Let's get them in now. Awesome show, everybody. Great to have the four horsemen back. Keith, welcome back from your vacation. Came on a couple of days early, surprised everybody right before showtime. Hope you enjoyed that little April Fool's Day segment we had with you, everybody. And Keith, I know, liked it a lot. But great show. Enjoy, everybody. Enjoy your couple days. We'll see you on Saturday. But let me get my comments out of the way, and then I'll pass them to everybody else. Let's go to Keith. Let's go Keith first. Get his final thoughts in.
My final thoughts is it's a fantastic episode to come on here with the four horsemen, to come on here and talk Broncos. I've missed it. You guys have done a phenomenal job in my absence. The April Fools is off the hook. I'm excited for this offseason. I really press the rest of the horsemen and the rest of the posse to think about where we stand in the AFC West. I do like where we stand. I do like our possibilities. I do like our chances. And I know it's really easy to get wrapped up in, man, we can upgrade here, and man, I'd like to see more there. I'm telling you, man, it's still going to be a fantastic year. And the draft, I got my book out earlier. I'm getting all warmed up. I can't wait to talk more draft.
Rapid fire. Glenn wants to know who you taking at linebacker at 62. Not just give you a name, Keith. Linebacker at 62, and I'll get the Jody and Trevor's as well at the end of their comments.
I don't like anybody at 62. I mean, if Jacob Rodriguez is sitting there at 62, yeah, I'll gobble him right up. But beyond that, I have a hard time finding a guy that I value high enough at this point. Now, keep in mind, I'm early in my research. I'm behind on my research is really what it comes down to. So I might have a name later. But right now, if it isn't Jacob Rodriguez, the candidates afterwards, I don't like at 62. Move up and get Jacob Rodriguez.
Like it. I'm not going to give you a linebacker, Glenn, because I don't like linebacker at 62. But if Christian Miller sneaking in there on maybe a couple, you want to trade up a couple spots and get Christian Miller, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, that's the route I would go. We'll go to Jody next, and we'll give Trevor the final words tonight.
Trotter for me.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Nice. And your final thoughts?
Just I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in this draft. I've said before they're in a position where they don't have to do best. They can go best player available. They don't have to draft for needs. I mean, depth, but they don't really have a glaring need like we seen last year. We got to get a running back 2 years ago. We have to get a quarterback, that type of stuff. So I'm excited on that. And we didn't touch on this, but I'll just throw it out there real quick. They said Bo Nix is ahead of schedule. He should be ready for all offseason training camp, and they expect him to be 100%. I don't know if this was AI or not, but I did see a small little video, him and some trainer, buddy, whatever. They were out kind of running in the woods, in the mountains. So if that's true, I mean, he's already, out of the boot and he's walking, running. So I'm excited, and I expect big things from Bo Nix this year. And can't wait for August to get here so football starts again.
Yep. Glenn answered with Jake Galladay. He loves him. That's been his boy all along. And Michael likes Jacob Rodriguez and Jake Galladay. And Glenn also saying, Keith, take the fifth and research. Do the research, my friend. Trevor, final words of the night.
Yeah, I mean, quick little Broncos news as well for everybody before we go. Broncos did bring in a familiar name, Kenny, that's been a part of our mock drafts so far. Emmanuel Pregdon was brought in for a visit. The guard from Oregon has Colorado ties and also went to Wyoming there for a couple of years. So that's a name to keep an eye on. I mean, talking about the Broncos possibly moving up into the draft. I mean, could they go guard? I mean, I love Pregdon, and I think he can go relatively high. No, I mean, Galladay would definitely be in play for me there as well. Glenn, and then safety, I like AJ Halsey, the safety from LSU. He'd be in play there as well at 62. But again, I'm kind of in agreement with Keith. Like, I don't love linebacker at 62, so Trotter's fine, but not in love. If you can move up, the better. And then my final thoughts. I mean, Keith, great to have you back. Great to have a Four Horsemen show. Love it. This is one of my favorite shows to do as well. Having all four of us on screen together, being able to talk football or Broncos, whatever we decide to talk about. So love doing the show. Keith, welcome back. Great to have you back, and looking forward to getting into the draft and pick is in draft show coming up in really, really soon. So everybody in the posse, make sure you please like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate it, whether you're watching live or even after the fact. Really appreciate it. Getting a lot of great views, a lot of great likes and comments as well after a show. So please, any questions, drop in the comments. We'll be sure to answer them even after the show. But hope everybody has a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. As always, go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Saturday, Denver Bronco Roundup will be back 10 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Mountain time. Have a great night, everybody. Oh.